Tell us how you reached 90. Frankly, I don't know. But this is an interesting statistic. At this time, there's a huge meeting of specialists on aging in America. At the university and in other schools, there are specialists who try to teach the young about what it might take to achieve a happy, good life. And for what it's worth, allow me to say this. America has 320 million people. 20% of those people are today 60 years old or older. 20% of 300 million is 60 million people are in the same position I am, between 60 and 90. Actually, of that 60 million, only 5% reach 90. So I guess that distinguishes a person if you're over 85. But there's someone here who's older than I am. And Cecilia, where are you, Cecilia? Cynthia, forgive me, Cynthia. Oh dear. Cynthia was here earlier. And I said, Cynthia, how old are you, please? She looks beautiful. She said, I'm 95. 95. Wow. But even in this group, there are a large number of you who are close to 60 or will be 60, and you are likely to live to be 100 years old. Do you realize that? How do you achieve 100? It isn't just us, obviously. It's the good Lord. It's the Creator. How did we evolve to achieve what we are? How do we explain soul? How do we trust that if we believe in God, there is hope for even an afterlife, an eternal life. And we Catholics believe that. We think Jesus died on a cross to save us, and if we are good people, we too could be saved, despite our shortcomings. And believe me, she lets me know when I have shortcomings. I've been extremely lucky. Now, marriage happens to be a very positive thing for people who grow older. It's wonderful to have a mate, to be happily married. Now, some of us have lost our husbands, wives, and it's sad. So we, as their friends, must encourage them and always be as helpful as possible. But remember, there are 60 million of us reaching for the stars and old age like 100. Why is it we want to live on? Each of us has his own, her own reason. But who do we thank for the fact that we do grow older? After God, of course, would come good parents. I never thanked my mother enough for the wonderful things they did for me. And really, it shouldn't be our birthday. It's the birthday of the mother who gave birth to this person. So they should always be commemorated too, and think of your childhood and all the things parents go through to raise children they love and sacrifice for. And now, as you reach older age, you look back and those children are successful. My son was here. He's a country music producer. Right now he has a show in Phoenix. 15,000 people at that show. He makes tons of money. He worked so hard to achieve this. He's one of the leading lights in Nashville. I have two sons in Nashville. They're both very, very successful. But they've been in country music for, what, 30, 35 years. And it was marvelous to see my son. He drove down. He just had an hour to be here. And his wife sang for us. She's an Italian opera star. She really is. And if we had the full orchestra here, she would have blown us away. She's a wonderful voice, wasn't it? Now, what would we do without good parents? We have absolute thanks to them. We thank our doctors. Think of medicine today. Medicine keeps us alive. I take a blood pressure pill and a cholesterol thing. Well, if you're married to Manolo, you need a blood pressure pill. She's a tiger. I was married before, and I'll be honest, thank God for divorce, or we would have killed each other. Divorce is very important. It's a peaceful resolution of differences. If you really can't get along, why stay there? It doesn't make sense. And thank God I met her by sheer accident. I swore I'd never get married again. I didn't know how to pick a wife. I knew people, but a wife? That's a major investment in time and love and money. And it's your life. We achieve 90 once in a lifetime. And I feel very, very fortunate to be here. But it's not just me. I didn't decide these things. It was the good people, the good doctors, good luck. Luck is about, who knows, 25% of it all. I could step out the door and be killed on River Road when I go home. But I'll be careful. Right behind us is a bus yard. You notice? A lot of school buses. After I graduated, after I retired from the University of Arizona, where I taught for 36 years, I loved the university. It was a wonderful experience. I was with young people all the time. That's why I can't get used to the idea of age. And then I married a young woman. She was 28 and I was 52. I told her I was 49. 50 sounded so old. When I was in the Philippines, I was lecturing in Southeast Asia for a year. And part of that lecture or sabbatical was to get away from my wife. I needed a change, desperately. And I swore, never get married again. That's it. I can be friends with many people. And she married me without my realizing it. I fell in love with a young person who was so dynamic and so sweet and so kind to an older guy. I mean, I'm a 50-year-old professor, 52. But at the airport, I said, honey, we might consider this, but I must warn you, I can never have another baby. I have 3 children, and I've been cut. I won't tell everything. I only have one chance to tell them. Well, there were so many people who liked the fact that I was a divorced professor on campus. I was hit on constantly. I mean, women are not stupid. Not that I'm so good looking. I'm just a little guy. But I had a wonderful life, a good future, and I promised to be very good to whomever I am committed. And I said, look, we can't have children, and Philippine women love children. Families mean everything. I have a family. I have grown children. You're a young girl. She said, let's continue to write. So we wrote. 6 months later, she was here. And we got married in Sabino Canyon at the ranch of a very dear friend who's now in Yucatan. He couldn't make this party. And it's been the greatest marriage and finest relationship one could imagine. So have hope. But hope is the other thing that keeps us alive. Without hope, what is the good of life and long years if you have no real purpose, if you're not fulfilled to achieve something while you're on this earth? So age is one thing, but the way of life is even more important. I think of my 3 dear friends who died in World War II. We were all gung-ho, we killed Germans. One died in Africa, and one in France, Christopher Brody, the most beautiful Catholic guy at the University of Illinois. I was Chris's roommate for 2 years. I was a freshman and sophomore with him, and he was a junior and a senior. He became the editor of the University of Illinois Daily Illini, which is the university newspaper. A major school, a major paper, a major guy. He took me under his wing like a brother. I mean, he was just fantastic. And we were both in the ROTC. Everybody had to join the ROTC, Reserve Officer Training Corps. In those days, all state universities had to have ROTC. If you were a freshman, you had to take 2 years of ROTC. That was part of the deal. Well, I liked it. It was fun. It was great. Boy Scouts with a gun. And next thing you know, the war came along, out of the blue. Well, I had always been interested in history for some reason, and I had been very careful about reading the Spanish Civil War. Remember in 36, 38, Franco, and the war in Spain, and that really turned me on. All of a sudden, Germany starts the war in September of 1939. I promise not to lecture you forever, but the war created opportunities for me like nothing else could have. And when Germany invaded Russia in September 1939, invaded Poland, forgive me, Poland, that's when World War II began for the Europeans. I took a double interest because my parents are from Central Europe, from a little country called Slovakia. 5 million people, it's a tiny place where our brothers and sisters were the Czechs. And together they had Czechoslovakia. They argued all the time, and they divorced in 1991 and went independent. So you have the Czech Republic and the Slovak Republic. Now they're on their own. They're responsible for themselves. And you can't claim that your brother is taking advantage of you. That independence is the bottom line of it all, isn't it? Freedom. Why is America so fantastic? I've traveled all over the world. I really have. I've lectured in many countries and many universities and enjoyed it. But I'm so happy to come back to Arizona, especially Tucson. This is the most unique country in the world. Middle East. I lived 5 years in Europe. Europe is great. Germany is fantastic. It's almost a little America. Go, travel while you can. I told my students, before you get married, go. See the world. Understand what's going on there before you settle down. And think this is the middle of everything. There's a whole world out there today with communications, with the internet, with computers, with airplanes. It's so simple to get on an airplane at whatever age. And before you know it, you're in the Philippines or you're in Germany. And spend a few 3 weeks there. You come home and you will appreciate your home 10 times more. And America really comes to life in your mind when you realize the difference between the lifestyle of this country and the lifestyle of other places in the world. I respect them all. But I was in Damascus. I was in Lebanon. Oh, you could feel the tension. It was 1974. The Civil War was just beginning in Lebanon. Holy mackerel. We don't need another Civil War. I got out of there. I went straight to Germany. And then as I traveled, I thought, we had a Civil War. Why are these people fighting? Why did we fight? We killed 600,000 of our brothers and sisters in this country. 1861, 1865, the Civil War. No, it was a war between the states. It's not a civil war. It's a war for freedom and independence and protection of a lifestyle. The South loved its culture. They weren't going to give that up. Landowners, slaves, they had it knocked. It was a fabulous life. And the Northerners thought, gee, it's not good to have slavery. Abraham Lincoln comes along. Think how what a wonderful guy he was. How he became the focus of a change for good. He hated the war, believe me. He did not want the war. It led to such horrible bloodshed.